Hey. I don't even know what this. What's up?
Hey.
What's up?
Oh, wait. You have to be quiet. There's a meeting going on upstairs in somebody's house.
Wow. What?
So you have a meeting going on upstairs?
You got one too?
No, I don't have one.
Well,
Hey man, how you doing, man?
Ain't not gonna be quiet here tonight.
Not gonna be quiet.
So I know we're probably going to have a little bit later of a crowd because we have two problems, right? We have the Facebook problem, which we want to let everybody know. Right now, we need 100 subscribers on Facebook. So if you don't watch us through Facebook, but you have Facebook, please go subscribe on Facebook to our Warriors United page, or tell your friends just to click it, just so that we have at least 100 subscribers, so that way we can not have to worry about it. That's number one. Number two is there's a meeting, UCJC, so we know some of our good friends will not be jumping on immediately, probably around 8-ish. So those are the two things. But other than that, man, life is great. How was your guys' weekend? It must have been fantastic.
Go ahead and start, sir. You the oldest.
Man. What? Oh, okay. We going like that? Okay. We got father jokes already happening here, bro. Okay. We got Father Abraham. All right, okay, got you. No, this was a long week because the Orioles played Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, every single day. And the last three was sold out, the last three, because we played the Phillies.
Wow.
If you know Philly fans, they live up to their story, because all I know is that there was like 30-something ejections on Friday, 20-something on Saturday, and about 20-something on Sunday. Yeah, they were being ejected like crazy. But the good thing about Sunday, after the game, went with the family. We went to Simone's house, Simone and Eric's, and we had family night for Father's Day and watched a movie.
Well, we're going to get into that. Don't sneak us. We're going to get into big, deep Father's Day talk, right? Today.
Okay. And so we did that, and oh yes, and my granddaughter.
Oh yeah.
She had a solo on Sunday.
Yes.
What? Look, Ava don't show no fear. Let me tell you this: there was no fear. She sang her solo. It was her day yesterday. I'm proud of her. Great job. Yes. But apart from that, yes, it was a good weekend. Quiet.
Awesome.
This black man right here, because the audience, you don't see how black this man is, because he is right now.
I've gotten a shade darker. I was at the beach for a week with my wife, celebrating Father's Day, and it was beautiful. And I am burned on my arms.
Yes,
you can't see.
Yeah.
Yes. Even though I use sunblock, I still got burned.
You used the wrong sunblock, man. You black.
Yes, he did.
But my wife, unfortunately, she got it worse than I did.
Y'all used the wrong one. Y'all used the wrong sunblock.
We used the right one.
No. He was using the Caucasian sunblock.
Yep.
Yeah, it was.
That's probably what it was. And then that, of course, came home. The family took me out again after that, but we'll get into details on that. The weekend was great. I mean, again, prior to that, just doing stuff at our local assembly, getting things ready for upcoming convocation. Just been busy doing stuff, getting everything together. So, what about you, sir?
Yes,
sir. I will say this: my daughter also sung a solo for Father's Day with the youth choir. We are rebuilding, as you know. We lost a lot. I literally lost around, I want to say 60% of our folks over through the years through COVID. So from 2020 till now, we lost about 65% of our folks. But we've also been increasing a little bit. Some new folks have been coming, so God is good, and we're rebuilding. And the weekend was a little bit busy for me because I have to kind of get stuff done that we're trying to do. So I'm going back to pastoring 101. Where we kind of have put our hands in everything. We don't have people to do it anymore. So it gets a little bit busy. But, God's good. And the weekend was great. Father's Day was awesome. And as we said, we'll get into that. So very happy. Very happy. So.
Didn't you meet anyone from Argentina? Didn't you say?
But I didn't meet somebody. He's a friend of mine. Good friend. He's back in America. He was in America pre-pandemic. Him and his family, they had to go back to Argentina because his wife's mother got sick. But he came back and he wants to bring her back over this way into America. Well, she was supposed to be sick, but she wasn't really sick. Long story, you know what? Long story short. Different show. But they're back.
Okay.
He's here, but he's here trying to bring his family. But I hung out with them a little bit on Saturday because what I want to do is I want to start a Spanish-speaking Bible study at my church because my community around the church is getting to be heavy Latinos. If you know what's going on, they're actually shipping a lot of the immigrants that are being shipped from Texas to New York are being shipped now to Trenton. So we get like 800 a week. No, sorry, 600 a week coming into Trenton. So we've got a lot of the Latino population is growing. So now I want to start something. So he speaks fluent Spanish. So we talked a little bit about that and he's excited. I'm excited. We're going to see what happens. So pray for us that we get this Latino speaking church going or Bible study going.
Means he got English, Jamaican, and now Spanish.
Haitian, Liberian. Yeah. You got a lot of
African too? Okay. Then.
Yeah. You got a lot of accents coming into the church. A lot of accents.
I got one for you, but I guess I'll save that one for later.
Yeah,
you know what it's going to be. Right? You know, it's his famous one. You know which one it is.
We don't have that one yet. We don't have
fathers.
So tonight we're talking about fathers. And we're excited about it because the three of us are fathers. And it's going to be kind of difficult to see a lot of comments. Hope we get them tonight due to the fact that technical difficulty we're having Facebook. But we've been sharing on our Facebook page the link via YouTube. So you should still be able to get on there, type the comments. So bring them in and so forth. So, gentlemen, what does it mean to you to be a father?
Want me to start? Okay.
Yeah, either one of you.
So what it means to be someone who is wise, common sense wise. Let me be specific. Common sense wise, who's able to instruct with love, help and be the support that the wife and the children need, and then also be the one that they can depend on when everything else is going crazy. You're stable. You're able to, get the shit back in order and put things back in perspective.
Mine's just short. Action speaks louder than words. Being a father, because you can be a father, you can be a dad, you can be whatever you want, but action speaks louder than words. And we can talk, we can say what we do, but your family, your children, they know. And so how you get a response from other people, that's when your actions are working. If you get a good response from other people, if they give you compliments, if you do this, if you do that. So when people see you, most times that's what they're going to go by, how you act, how you talk, how you walk, and how you treat people. So like you said, though, the father figure, it's a whole lot, especially when you have to be like the calming sense. Everyone's going crazy, and it's good if you are the one that can sit down. Hey, hold on, let's do this. Whether you go in a prayer mode, where you go into a conversation mode, or where you just stop, and then everyone take a breath. Let's do this again. So that's my motto with that. Go ahead.
Yeah, and from back up what Simon was saying, for the Christian perspective, the father, he is the priest of the home, meaning that he is the one that should be setting the guidelines for dealing with spiritual background, spiritual foundation. Because scripture talks about, as for me and my house, we would serve the Lord. That should be a true foundation for a father to instill in his household. And a father, not only is that, he is a provider, he is a spiritual leader, he is a comforter, he is a disciplinarian, and he is a shelter, he is a provider, as I said earlier. And a father does encompass a lot of different things. And the thing I think that gets me the most is how today's society depicts men as being irresponsible. I mean, the one show that I hate the most was Married with Children. That sitcom. I hated that show because they always made Al Bundy look like he was stupid. His kids disrespected him. His wife, even The Simpsons. The kids disrespected him. The wife. It's like society, they make men feel like we're dumb.
But we got the Cosby Show.
But then you have the Cosby Show. However, more people gravitate to look at how men are portrayed as being stupid. And that's the thing that gets me.
Well, you know what? I think it's just the opposite, because I think that when you portray a man as being stupid, it's funny because people know it's not true, right?
Okay.
Most people know it's not true because we watch those shows. Like I watched the Bundys. I watched The Simpsons. Why? Because it was funny, because you knew that that was the exact opposite, right? They were going to say or do something that was funny because it's not what would have really happened. When you have shows where the Cosby's probably is the only show that you kind of have to see differently, but like Good Times wasn't a comedy. They considered it more of a drama. Right?
Yeah.
The husband was so strong.
Yes.
Right.
Sanford and Son.
Parts to it. JJ was the funny one, not
the
husband, right? So it was more of a drama. But when you look at the Jeffersons, right? Again, Sherman was funny because he was over the top. Right. So I think it depends on, you know, what people are trying to draw to. I think when you're trying to be more realistic, the father is always that solid one. Family was it, but not the one with the Urkel.
Family Matters.
Family Matters.
Right?
I was just happy watching that the other day. I haven't watched that show in years, and I just happened to watch that the other day. I'm like, oh, man.
But the dad was solid in that show again because he wasn't. It was Steve that was the funny one.
Right.
It was supposed to be the funny one, and again, so when they want to draw comedy and they use the father, it's usually the opposite of what it really is.
Well, I just mentioned one you omitted, Sanford and Son.
Sanford and
Fred was a bully. Fred was just a bully. He was ready to knock people out. Lamont, poor Lamont. I feel bad for Lamont. He was gonna beat that boy every day.
But again, right? He was over the top. You know, oh, Elizabeth, I'm coming. None of our dads ever did. Oh, I'm not. They didn't do that. It was always over the top. But I got a question for you guys because, you know, Simon, you said something though. Being a real father, being a real man, you know, being a real father, do you think that other people's opinion, what's more important, your family's opinion of you or other people's opinion of you? Like, what do you guys think?
Family.
No doubt.
Right.
Because most times, well, definitely, they will be honest, straight up honest. Now, other people, they don't see you in the home.
I was about to say that.
I don't see you in the home.
Right.
They see you outside. So if you can do the home, outside, or wherever you, all particularly like the same, that you don't change your character or whatever, then people will draw because your family will say, yeah, that's what it's like at home. And they go, yeah, that's what he's like. This is who he is. That's how he is. So, yeah, family. Family is number one. It's important.
And what I like what Simon said, because I can always speak, especially on convocation time. My kids say, Dad, we know convocation is coming. We know you got to do this. We know you got to do that. And they know right off the bat without me having to tell them. And they say, we appreciate what you're doing because they realize I'm sacrificing them to do things that need to be done for the body. And it's funny because they always say, Dad, we know. And that makes me feel good that they appreciate what I'm doing. And the fact they acknowledge that when it's convocation, we know you're going to be doing this. And they know. My
family also, and it's a good side and a funny side.
Yeah.
And because my family know when it's convocation, now that like head of security, you got to be there early. You're the last one to leave or whatever. But then when we used to go on a road trip as a family, I'm like, you know what time I got to go? You all better, because I leave you and they know because I've left them a few times. But we were lucky that we was at the Whitestone, which was right next to the church. So they didn't really have to go that far. But they would know, and I appreciate all of them right now because the respect that they had because they knew what I had to do, and it wasn't an argument thing. Or now and again they will say, "Come on, Dad. I mean, hey, just one time you're gonna do that." Nope, come on, we gotta go because that one time, that's when everything goes haywire because you're behind and you're trying to catch up. So
my kids got smart. They started driving themselves. When we were down in Hampton, they both drove their cars. They drove their car. They stayed in the hotel room with us, but they drove their cars.
I'm good now because everybody in my family got a car. Plus, they got their own families too, so that's funny.
Well, for me, I didn't have the same responsibilities you guys did, and my family's understanding. And I'll say more so for me and my sister, especially with our dad, because he had different times. We understood, so it kind of gravitated that to my family because when I had my children, I was already in offices and doing these things, but we always made sure, one thing that we did as dads, as fathers, was we always made sure that our kids understood what we were doing. And we also made sure that we gave them a little bit extra time. Right. Let me speak for myself. I always try to give them a little bit extra time. So if they were going to the pool, I would walk down to the pool. I'd be like, okay, I'm with them, for an hour or two. And I say, okay, I got to go now. So you guys got to get out. Okay, let's go. But you spent the time you could with them. So that way they understood that, okay, when I have to go, it's not because, I just want to go. It's because I've got a job to do. And it was a little bit easier for them to understand, at least in my case. But I think that was important for us to do, is to have that kind of deal. Simon, please do your thing.
Yeah, I'm just about to do it. Yeah, we thinking alike. Because even though it says on there, follow us on Facebook, now Saints of God, friends from all around the country. Today, since June the 10th, they had a Facebook upgrade or something. So we're having technical difficulties on Facebook, but you can still press the button, subscribe, like, and share, and flip over to Facebook and still do the same thing. So people can see that we're on YouTube today. So I think we all did that, transferred it over. And if you go on Facebook, it'll transfer right back. But please press the button.
Right.
It is important to press it, subscribe it, like it, and share it. We appreciate you joining us today. Thank you.
So I have a question. Amen. What do you say to men that all they want to be, or how to put it, all they want to do is spread their seed, put it that way, and you produce all these children, but yet there's no responsibility behind it?
What do we say to those men?
Oh my God. I can't say that on this channel.
That's why I use the word spread their seed.
I think that I would. Okay, so first of all, I don't know if I know too many guys like that. I think that we kind of men want to be around men that they are like them. That's the one thing about men, right? We want to be around guys that are like us.
Right.
If you play sports, you want to be around guys who play sports. If you are intellectual, you want to be around guys that are intellectuals, whatever it may be. So for me, it would be hard for me to be around somebody who's irresponsible. So if they came into my office or they came to the church and I saw them being a neglectful father, I would have to say something. Like I would say, hey, how are you with your kids? What's going on? I would ask them a question because there's got to be a reason why they're neglectful. Then you just have some knuckleheads out there who just don't care about anything.
Yeah, because I think even though today society will change that now anyway, because it could be very expensive for a father. You can't just have a baby now and think, oh, let the mother take care of it or what? Because the mothers now are saying, okay, we're going to get a child support. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And then you got 3 or 4 kids at 3 different places. So it was like, you got to keep a job. because
Good job.
spending all that money around.
Well,
Good job.
Simon's point, because we do know of one celebrity, I'm not going to mention the name, who has all these children, and he has no problem with that. Of course, he has the means to give them money, so I think that's right. Who?
Sprewell?
I'm not mentioning any celebrities' names, but you know him well.
I know.
You know him well.
I'm not mentioning any. Leave it at that. But going around producing all these.
What genre is he in? What is he in?
Initial.
First name begins with N.
Second name with a J?
Begins with an N.
Nicodemus.
Second name though begins with a J.
What genre is he in? Baseball, football, basketball?
He is an entertainer. He is a
entertainer.
First name begins N. Last name begins with a C.
Someone's gonna put it up in a minute, so he doesn't.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
NC. Who is that? Oh, Nick Cannon. We can say his name. Come on. Oh,
I wasn't saying the name. You can say the name. I'm not saying the name.
Hey, look. Someone put NC.
Father though. Like, I've not heard any other mothers complain about him being a good or not.
Give him the money.
You know? No, but it's more than that.
Giving him money, just giving him money is just not a father neither. So
yeah, he does. No, he makes sure. Like I've never heard him say, "Well, he just gives us money." No, I've never heard anybody, because you've heard other mothers complain about some of the athletes and some of the entertainers, fathers, but I've never heard a bad thing about Nick Cannon. Like even his friends will say he's a good father. So, again, you want to hear from his kids, but I've heard his kids complain. Right. So,
well, you can see now with sports athletes now, and it's more and more now that when they start a game or finish a game, and if you win the championship or after a game, here comes your children.
Yeah.
You got all your children coming to you, holding them up. You want them to be in the picture with you. So that's a great thing for future reference, or for when they can look back that, yes, I was in the picture with my dad and we won the championships. I know they got the means to do that, but that's a good take now. That's a real good take that they involve in their families. So instead of them traveling and they're by themselves, now you got the kids sometimes who come now and again. So that's a good thing.
So what do you think some of the challenges that the fathers of the day face?
How many or what are they?
Well, you can talk about as many as you want, but what do you think one of the key challenges that you think, a key challenge you think fathers of today face?
I think one of the key challenges, and the ladies may get mad at me, but being able to be a father and being able to take that role. I think that a lot of times ladies sometimes intervene because they feel that we're not doing the job that needs to be done. I'm not saying the ladies that we know, I'm just saying that overall, because that is part of the reason why men have stopped being fathers. I think is because the role of a dad is always being questioned. For instance, the guy who's just the opposite of what we're talking about, the good guy who wants to take care of their child but can't because the mother doesn't want him to see them. And just the opposite versus where the guy doesn't want to see them, where the mother's like, here, see my child, see your child. And the guy doesn't want to do it, but there's also the opposite. And then in the home, oftentimes there are guys who sit back and don't do anything when it comes to discipline. But then there are guys who want to discipline, but then mothers sometimes feel it's too harsh. And this is definitely something that I think is causing issues sometime in the homes, is because the father doesn't feel respected, right?
And you see it on a lot of court shows also too, because before it was I'm taking the father to court because I want to get child support. So now when they're doing that, then the father's like, I want to do this, I want to do that, but you telling me what I got to do or what I can't do. And so that's why we're here. And then you find out that sometimes, and this is not all the time, I mean, it can go both ways. Sometimes it's the father wants to do something,
Yeah.
He wants to go and pick up the child. He wants to do this. Now everything has to go through court now. If you're doing it that way, and then you have time and you have time with the child, but that is more relevant now than what it used to be, because now you have to go to court if you want to spend time with your child. And then of course the ridiculous side is this your child?
Then there's that. Yeah, there's that question. Right?
Is this your child? And
You are not the father.
Yeah. but the thing about it is, you talk about the man so bad, and he said, "Yeah, this is my child," and he's shocked. He's like, "Wait a minute, there's somebody else? I thought it was me."
Yeah.
And then when it is his child, after the first 15 minutes, the woman is badgering, "Yeah, you don't responsible, blah 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 blah," and he can't get no edgeways in, and then they go, "You are the father." I knew you was a father. See, you need to think about it. He's like, "What? You can't win for losing.
You can't win.
You can't win for losing."
But something you said earlier about disrespect, I was sharing with Simon earlier, how where we at the beach was senior week. And so my coworker was saying that a friend of theirs, husband and wife, the father told his son, "You can't go." The mother said, "No, he can go." So he went. He goes to the beach. What happens? He gets arrested because he happened to be in the car with someone who had a liquor bottle. So he got arrested. The father told the wife, "You go down there and get him. I'm not." Because he said he couldn't go, but she overrode his decision to allow their son to go. And look what happened.
And that's the thing, right? There's that communication. Okay, I want him to go. Okay, let's talk about it on the side, because right now you can't talk to him, but you just overturn the gentleman, and then that loses respect.
There it is. That word respect.
For the father, right?
Yes.
You can lose respect. The kid suddenly says, "Oh, I just got to go to mom. Mom's gonna." It can't be done that way, and that's and ladies, it's not always that way. Not all of you do that, but there is that number that do that out there. And I think that's one of the biggest problems as being a good dad can be out there. But there are some comments. We want to get to some of these comments.
And remember, this is not the Mark and Anita show.
I don't know right now.
Okay, it's not the Mark and Anita show. This is Warriors United for Christ.
Right.
It's Rupert, Simon, and Mark.
Let's see where the first question comes from.
Let's see.
First
question.
It's Anita.
He said all that just to be a father is the household provider and comforter. Today's parents want to be their children's friend.
Whoa, man.
That's a great point right there.
I applaud her on that one.
The friend.
You're not my friend.
I hate it. Oh my God. How do I hate that? I want to be my child's best friend. What? You want to be their parents. You don't want to be their best friend.
This is what I saw this weekend. Now, I'm at the ballpark, and it's 44,000 people. Mm-hmm. And the father, and this is no joke, the father was 6'5". Mm-hmm. He looked like he was 6'5", 300. Huge. I don't know if he took 2 seats or what, but he was a huge man. But he had his little daughter who was like 3 years old. I see him walking through the tunnel. He puts his hand out and say, "Hold my hand." Little girl says, "No, I don't want to hold your hand." So this is where I have issues.
I do too.
Because I'm not saying you got to be aggressive with the child or nothing, but your situation is there's 44,000 people around here. You just walked through the tunnel to go out in the stand to go and get some food. You asked the child, and the little girl says no, and you didn't even bat an eyelid, and so you moved your hand. See, I got issues with that
big time, because
there's situations where the child has no choice. I'm sorry, no choice. You taking my hand. You taking my hand.
Yeah. I don't know why you asked. I just grabbed the hand.
But no, he didn't ask. He put his hand out, but she says no.
Yeah,
and no, you can no.
Yeah, it's either I yank her up and pick her up, or I'm holding her hand. Right? There's no. This to me is parenting has become so crazy.
Yes.
Has become so crazy that if you do what our parents might have did or their parents, we are too aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, like you just said it, right? Person got arrested.
Yep.
My dad taught me well enough where to be, what to be, who to be with, that he then, when I was older, he was not concerned because he knew I was going to, because when I was younger, he insisted, no, you can't go over there. I want to go to my friend's house. No, you can't go to there.
Yeah.
I don't know their parents. I don't know their parents. This is dad and mom. So moms, you're two, dad and moms. I don't know their parents. I don't know him because he never brought him over here,
right,
to meet us. And so you can't go until those two things are clear. Got it. That's so you knew that you just couldn't have any friend. Your parents want to know. I love my kids, but I tell you, there are friends who come to this house that don't find me and say hello to me or my wife.
Oh no, we ain't having that, bro.
But see, that's another.
No.
Yes,
you're not gonna walk up in my house and not speak.
But wait till they get older, and when they want to date, but the boyfriend, I'll just say boyfriend, okay? Since we Christian church, boyfriends don't want to meet the father.
Oh no.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm just saying this is what happens, or they do meet, they do greet you, but they shy away from you or whisper in and say, you know what, your dad, you don't have to do what your dad says. Blah, we just go in here and blah blah. See, that's today's society. Probably did it before. Of course, I did before, but it's more common now to avoid the father of the household who is stable in the house, and they just want to interrupt the flow.
You can't, right? Even now, you can't tell your kids who to be friends with. Like you just can't in today's society, because kids now, all of a sudden, kids have rights. I'm not bashing, but you 18, you live in my house, you would have rights. You don't have rights. You have rights when you're a majority. When you are of age and you take care of yourself, you have all the rights in the world you want. But those years that you are with me, we have to set rules and boundaries and guidelines. Like my daughter sometimes hates. I know she tries to hide it. She'll come down for school. My youngest, where's I'm like, go change. Why? Because I just don't like what you're wearing. Just go change. Oh, daddy. Walk upstairs. I don't have to have a reason why I don't like it. I just don't like it. Why don't I have a reason?
Right.
I'm your father. I love you. I will tell her, I want you to present yourself a certain way so people understand who you really are.
Exactly.
That's it. So
to your point, when we were at the beach, some of the outfits we saw these young ladies wearing, I'm going, if your parents saw you with this on, they would probably fall out right now. Then again, maybe some of them endorsed it so they can go out the door like that. But I'm like, if my daughter were to walk out the house with some of them young ladies had on, it was ridiculous, man. You thought you were in Rio de Janeiro, just the way how they were dressed. It was just that bad, man.
You said the skinny dipping beach.
It was bad.
Ocean City.
I was like, wow. We got some more comments to put them up there.
Who's the second comment? Oh my God! It's not the show, but
men who spread their wealth.
Oh, that's what a professional way to put that. And not for other figures, their wealth.
Okay.
Spread their wealth. Papa was a Rolling Stone. We know about those things, right? Wait, there was this NC Nick Cannon. So
Nick Cannon, yeah,
right. Oh, wait, we're not supposed to say Nick Cannon. Sorry, Nick Boomerang.
Yeah.
My father was the same. My sister and I didn't spend. Yeah, it's another thing. Spending nights. So I don't have a problem with my child spending the night at somebody's house because I don't mind somebody spending the night here. But again, I need to know the family, right? Where they're going. I need to know about the family. But I remember growing up, I spent the night only one time, and it was at my very, 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 very best friend. Mom knew their parents.
Well, see, they knew them. Okay.
It was, I mean, no, not just knew them, they knew them. I mean,
Right.
it was like you could call, and I mean, and it was one day, it was one time my parents let me do it. And I don't think my sister ever spent the night over anybody's house. Like for her, it was even rougher because she was a girl. But for me, one time, I spent the night at somebody's house.
But even back then, we might get some dislikes. It was father and mother, husband and wife, whatever. When you sent your child somewhere, there was a couple and they had another child or whatever. So and things are drifting and changing now. So they still have sleepovers and that, but it's still great to know where they're going. You can't just send your child somewhere these days.
Not these days. No.
You don't know the parents. You don't know what they do, where they go. I mean, whether they go to church or not. I mean, you still got to find out where they're going.
Nah, because we used to go to church as kids, and we know what we used to cause trouble too. I mean, that's the funniest thing, right? So our kids don't understand that we were your age.
Yes. Yes.
We were your age. We know what y'all think. Don't act like we stupid. Oh.
That's right, Holly. No, he will meet my parents. He must respect both of my parents. And if he can't do that, it won't work. That is true. And not only that, she threw her brother in there because if they don't respect her brother, no, it ain't happening.
It is true. I think it's a good basis. I think it's a good basis. I don't think it's going to work for all young people, but it's a good basis to think. My biggest criteria for anybody who's going to marry any of my daughters is how they treat their mother.
Yeah.
That's my biggest criteria. How do you treat your own mother? Because if you can't treat your mother with love and respect, you're not going to treat your wife with it. So that would be my biggest thing. So for my daughters, it would be find a man who treats their mother with love and respect. Doesn't worship her, because then you have a mama syndrome, but treats her with love and respect. So at least you know you're going to get love and respect. And also a person that loves, children, because if you have children, you want them to be a good father. So if they don't have to love me. They have to love me.
Yeah, because you said it right there, because if they see how the father treats their mother, they want to see that in their own relationship. You don't want to have some knucklehead come, no, my father didn't treat my mother that way. My mother didn't treat my father that way. They see and they watch. So they should get the same type of respect that they see they get at home.
Yeah, I agree. And again, we all haven't grown up in those homes that were perfect. Not everybody has. I was fortunate, I had two loving parents. But I know, Mark, you said you had some, things. And
yeah, my dad was an alcoholic, and he was a verbal abuser. So it was like, I said, no, when I get married, that's not coming into my house. Yeah. And I made sure it did not come into my house.
Yeah. So what about you, Simon? About you?
Oh no, I would tell my girls will tell. I'm surprised they didn't come up yet. I tell my girls every time if they had a friend, I don't like them. It's just straight up. I don't like them because what they're gonna do first at the beginning is they're gonna try and show their good side, and then after a week or so, their personality really comes out. And I'm not setting myself up. Yeah, boy, what's up, man? How you doing? See, I can't do all that. No, I can be friendly. I can be funny. I can do this. But in the back of my mind is, yeah, I'm watching you, man. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. Are you opening the door for my daughter? I mean, is she driving you around? And you ain't paying for no restaurant fees or anything like that? Come on, bro. Yeah, I'm watching you. And most of the times.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, boy. There we go.
Put that one up there. Here we go.
One of y'all can read it.
He actually went up to Eric and got his number. That's how I knew you approved. Laugh out loud. All my pride.
Oh, wow. You got the man's number. Oh, wow. I'm sorry, Eric.
And now, how many years now?
That's right.
So,
congratulations to them both.
Thank you, Simone.
I don't know how I'm gonna. I really asked Simon how your parents were. Like, do you feel that you are like your father? Do you feel that you are not like your father?
No, I think I get the discipline part from my father, because he was actually calm. He wouldn't yell. He was that he gonna ask you once. I told you not to do that. And if you did it the next time, you get consequences. And then when when we got a little bit older, like my sister or my brother, they would run so they wouldn't get a beating. But my father would never chase them because he always knew I'm gonna get you. I don't care if it take a day or 2 days to you. But and you get your punishment. But the discipline part, and I wrote down at the beginning of my marriage and with the children, yeah, I may have been really hard. Well, Simone will probably really tough, especially with Simone and Simon. But at the same time, I remember sometimes Rachel would say, sometimes you just have to listen to him, talk to him, or whatever. Because most times he was, you ain't doing that. Not today. No, he's no. Yes, he's yes. We're doing this for it. But now I can truly say that with all three of them, great conversation. That would call me up and ask for an opinion and whatever, and I'll give mine. It's not that I know you're all still my children, but you're grown now. So, but what I like about it is that they're not afraid to ask no questions. They're not afraid to come and ask their dad or whatever a question or advice, or if they need something or whatever, because they know I'm going to help. But that's all from a growth thing, from the time they little babies to now, because people will talk about my children, how respectful they are.
Right.
And that's just a proud moment. And it's not just from our side, Rachel and our side, but also from their side, that they followed the path where they wasn't getting into trouble or going to jail or nothing like that. So that's a good part. And hopefully when they show it to their children and their children's children or whatever, it can continue on, even though, these generation right now, that's a tough thing. It's tough because they have more than what they have to think about than what we have to think about.
Right.
So talking and keeping that communication with the kids is really important.
Yeah, I agree. I disagree that they have more to think about than we did. I think we had the same thing about it. I just think that it wasn't as easy to access. I think they have easier access than we did, but I think we all had the same issues and the same things that they did. But I want to put this question. I think it's a good comment.
This is an excellent one.
Who is modeling these standards for these kids growing up today, often without a clue for right or wrong? Yeah, go ahead, guys. You guys can start. I'll come in. You guys can start.
Simon said earlier, people are watching. So if they see a godly father who is doing the right thing and raising their children, that's the one that we should, I want to say applaud, but we should thank them because they're doing the right thing. Their kids are a reflection of what they're doing correctly. And for them to be looking up today, unfortunately, we have a lot of parents who are not setting that standard for their kids. A lot of fathers are not setting standards for their kids. They're letting their kids do everything. Man, it ticks me off when I go to a store and see a kid falling out, having a temper tantrum. I'm like, if you come to the school of Brodus, we would not have that problem because I didn't play that, man. My kids would tell you today they never.
And most times, if you strong, just like you said, you don't have to beat a child. You don't have to. If you just firm. And disciplined, and really mean what you say. And I'm going back to what you were saying, because before, when you said these role models, you go from your parents. It used to be sometimes when a third hand would be the teachers at school would do that. Yeah. But now they're taking it out of the teachers' hands because kids talk to teachers anywhere that they want. And they're trying to help these children. And then you got the renegade. So, the teacher yelled at me. No, the teacher did this. So, I mean, it's not everybody in the world, but the society has just changed so much that you go from parents to teachers. Because I know for a fact when I was at school, and if I did something, my parents knew before I got home.
Yeah.
either and not just that, my neighbors would know, and they would discipline me because it was like a family unit.
Mm-hmm.
But as role models, it's like you have no time. What's the word? You have no time to let your guards down.
You can't.
Because everybody's watching you. Everyone must know what you're doing. And we all have our jobs. We have children. We go out here. We go out there. And someone's always watching all the time.
24/7.
And it always takes that one time you don't do what you're supposed to do.
Yep.
That it's like the whole world knows, oh yeah, I thought you was this. I thought you did that. And it's just it's hard to be a role model.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so my dad taught me, and I try to teach young people the same thing, that your name means something.
That's good.
You know, your name, the name that you carry. I carry the name Johnson. It meant something. And I learned that very specifically in high school. My sister was smart, popular, teachers' favorites. When I came to high school and walked into a classroom and my teacher had that teacher, they look at the thing. Rupert Johnson, hey, are you Deborah Johnson's brother? Yes.
Yeah, got
Sit in
that.
front. Sit in front. Actually, it made it even easier for me because she was so well loved, they automatically loved me. But then, my sister said, preach. It actually made it easier for me because she was brought up in a way that she respected the teachers, respected the administration, respected her peers, that I automatically, they thought that's the way I was. And thank God I was that way. Where when I graduated, talk about graduation now, when I graduated, they came up to my parents and said to my parents, do you have any more kids? Your 2 kids have been the greatest kids that we have ever dealt with. Matter of fact, they knew, like you were saying, your parents knew before, your parents knew if you got in trouble before they got home. My teachers knew they could call the house.
Yeah.
Our parents gave a straight beeline. If my kids do anything, call the house. Let me know. And by the time I got home, and thank God, I think only twice I got in trouble in school. And I just never did it again. And that was the way it was. Those were parents. That was a father and a mother who who made us understand that our name meant something. Meant something. That was important.
No, what I was laughing at, because younger growing up, in my neighborhood growing up, you had to fight just all the time. That's how bad it was. Growing up unsafe home. I remember one time I got into a fight with this guy, and I was losing the fight. My dad was like, your last name is Brodus. What are you doing? I was like, what that got to do with anything? My dad, he was egging me on. I was like, your last name is Brodus.
but that's like, okay, yes. So you get in a fight. So, okay, then if you lose the fight, you get a beating for fighting.
Yeah.
And then you go, so what happened? He beat you or you beat him? He beat you. You got another beating for losing.
It was rough growing up, man. I'm telling you. The kids don't know today.
I wasn't allowed to fight, guys. I wasn't allowed to fight.
No, we weren't allowed to fight, but sometimes you had to protect yourself.
Right.
No,
Protect yourself.
I had to learn not to fight. My parents made it very plain. My parents made it very plain. Don't you get no fight, because if you do, I'm gonna be the one to whoop you more. I don't care if you win or lose.
Right.
You come home after you got into a fight, you got to deal with me. And my dad was no joke. My dad was, you don't know my dad. My dad was quiet, serene, humble, loving guy. But bro, he was strong. I mean,
you did that then. Okay, then. Let me be devil's advocate here. Okay, then. So, all right, then. So you could not fight, or you didn't want to fight. So what would the kids, how would the kids call you when you didn't fight or protect yourself? Because, you know, kids can be cruel.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, I was Rupert Johnson. I was loved by everybody.
As your sister just says, actually, you were slightly more popular.
Yes. I was loved. I made sure I was loved. Matter of fact, it's one of the funniest things. When I was in high school, this big kid, at the time, he was 6'2". And at the time, I was maybe 5 foot. He was huge. He was the biggest kid in school. He said something about my mother. And I was like, I can't say something about my mother. I do nothing. So I got up, said, man, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And I got out. He's going to come at me. And I was going to quiet down. But then suddenly I saw my cousin, who was really cool. And he came over. I got louder. I was like, what you doing, man? Then my cousin said, you can't do this. I said, let me go, man. Let me go. But in my head, I'm like, hold me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I got you. But one thing I like about fathers that are really involved in their children's activities. I mean, for one, I went to the PTA meetings. I enjoyed it. I was a part of my kids' sports, scouting, and that's the thing I think speaks volume when a father is really active with their children. I mean, because their children remember that. Even to this day, my kids would throw up the fact I never took them horseback riding. These are grown young adults. They go, Dad, you never took us horseback riding. I'm like,
the one thing, right?
The one thing. Out of all the things I've done for them, they throw that thing up that I did not take them horseback riding.
Well, my kids are the same. They fussing saying, Dad, you can roller skate. And you, but when we go on there, we all doing all this, and you all going, you ain't teach us how to roller skate. So from this day, they still talk about it now. I didn't teach them how to roller skate. But,
it's funny, that one thing.
But just like he said, and I think it's, of course, with this generation, it's more apt now that parents, fathers, are going out more with their kids to sporting events, and it's the moms who are the ones who are crazy, who be yelling at everybody and want to fight everybody, and the fathers are there trying to say, it's okay, sweetheart. No, this is the sport. This is what they do. You can't do that to my son. You can't hit him like that. Right. It's football. He gotta get hit. But the fathers are coming out, and you can see it now that more and more popular. Don't miss Nadine's quote first. Nadine did. She said kids today are often given more rights than the adults. Yeah, so we did span about that and say something, but yeah, it's like that.
It's crazy. It's only 6 minutes left. I did not know there was so short a time.
Oh my goodness!
It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
8:24.
Wow.
I know it was that time. So, but dads are critical to boys.
Very.
Yes. Professional roller skater watching his kids struggle in the ring.
Let's go.
This is a good point. Something we didn't talk about. The relationship between fathers and daughters, of course, mothers and sons. Fathers are critical. A good father, and I agree with my sister because she said this, my dad was, and he was, mine too, but my mom was more for me, but my dad was critical in building my sister's self-esteem. Dads are critical. Yeah. You are the first one to tell your daughter she's beautiful. Absolutely. You are the first one to tell your daughter that she is worth something. She's a queen. You are the one that tells her that she's smart and intelligent. She can do whatever she wants to do. That she needs to hear that from dad. She'll hear it from mom, but hear it from dad. Why? Because then you know that your husband should be telling you the same thing. And if he's not, he doesn't have the rights to be your husband. You don't take a man, a father who embraces his daughter and lifts her up. That's critical as being a good dad. I believe. So I agree with my sister. My dad did it for her, did it for me in certain ways, but my mom was more so reminding me, I'm a man. You're not weak. You're smart. You're intelligent. All those things.
I'm telling your sons the same thing also, on how you talk to females, or I mean, in everybody in general, but you're in a relationship, how you talk to a lady or whatever, and you go into a relationship, you still got to have good self-esteem and be strong about it and not rude and crazy about it. So I believe that. Yeah.
But I definitely think that dads have to do it with their daughters. You got to do it with your daughters. So any young guys who are listening to our show, if you have young daughters, be that first voice to lift that girl up. Because she's going, like Simon, you said, right? Your daughters call you now, right? They call you now. Why do they call you now? Because you were that voice, right? You were that voice to them, that male voice that helped them through a lot of things, and that's important. I don't think that we are to be our kids' friends. We are to be our kids' parents, but they should be able to count on us as parents.
Absolutely.
Right. Don't look to me as your friend. I'm not your bestie. Right. I'm your dad. But being your dad, I love you more than a friend. Friends don't love you as much as I love you.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
That's where I am with that.
8:27.
Out of time. Hey, guess what? In a week after this, we'll be celebrating our 35th show. Wow. And we want to thank you, viewers, in advance for what you're doing. Now, that 35th show is going to be spectacular. Don't know what it's going to be yet, but it is going to be spectacular. Okay. But next week, we're still working on that one for the 34th show. We'll have that information out to you by Tuesday. And again, we want to thank you so much. And again, we apologize for the technical difficulty we've had tonight. Hopefully, it'll be rectified by next week.
Yeah, and you can subscribe on Facebook because we got to get them 100.
Yes.
We got to get the 100 subscribers so we can come back on Facebook. And we can watch it on YouTube, but just hit the button, press it 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Tell your friends. Even if they don't want to watch the show, tell them just put it on, press the button, and just hit it. That's all. So we love you all.
Facebook, search for Warriors United FC on your friend search. It will come up, and just click join. Join our group, and tell your friends. We need 100. Everybody, just go to your Facebooks again. Search under friends Warriors United FC, as in football club, but we made for Christ. Send that, then click join, and then you join that group. And once we get 100, we'll be back on Facebook. We don't need that many more, but we do need you to go and do it for us and tell a friend. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
All right. Well, we got 1 minute. We didn't even talk about Father's Day. I had a good Father's Day. My wife was awesome. She grilled for me. My kids gave me great gifts and said thank you.
We didn't go into detail.
We can go into detail. Okay.
Yeah, my kids took me up. My wife and daughter took me to Cheesecake Factory, ate some food, got fat again.
Yeah, we was at Simone's house. We had family time watching a movie together. Yes.
Woo!
Woo! Woo! Call it. Come on. You call it. You call it, Rupert. Call it. You call it, Rupert.
So everybody, hey, see you next week. And remember, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Hey, we're out of here. Take care, everybody. Thanks again. When I can't find our closing stuff. Where's our producer?
Oh my God!
We still on his house. Father Abraham, a many sons.
Many technical difficulties tonight.
You must be doing Juneteenth. All right, later.
You're welcome. Woo! Wow, that's the fastest show.